In this lecture, you'll be learning about version control, Git and GitHub at the surface level, and then I'll be showing you how to install Git on your computer. Version control, which is also known as a revision control system, is a system that records changes to files or a group of files over time so that you can actually recall specific versions of such files at a later time. With version control, you can actually keep track of changes made to a file, who made those changes, or even choose to discard those changes. One of the tools that is used for version control is Git, which is a distributed version control system that was specifically designed to handle from small to large-scale projects with speed and efficiency. While GitHub, on the other hand, is a code hosting platform for version control and collaboration. It allows you and other developers to work together on projects from anywhere. This is essentially where you're going to be saving your code as opposed to saving it on just your local system. So you will have a version of your software on a remote repository. So from there, other developers can actually collaborate with you and work on the same project. So there are also other kind of repository that can be used like Bitbucket, but we're going to stick with GitHub in this series. We all have some experience of version control in our own different ways, just that it is not as efficient as what we are going to be learning in this course. For example, if you're going to manually version a particular project, what you usually do is maybe you have a project folder. Let's call this project. And then inside of a project folder, let's say we have a file. And then we're going to save this inside of project folder. All right, you usually make some changes to this file, okay, second line. And then when you have done some amount of work, what you want to naturally do is to create a backup of this file because this file is important, okay? So you're going to save it as another copy, okay? So we say save as, and then we call this file 2. All right, so if we even want to go one step further, what you will do is to actually take this old directory, the project directory, and then probably copy it to a different location. Okay, so let's say in our documents folder, just paste it here. So right now what we have done is that we have it on the desktop here, and then we also have it inside of this document folder. This is partly one of the ways that we tend to do version control for things that are very important to us. So looking at what we have done so far, you begin to see some of the importance of using version control for your project. Essentially, any software today that is being developed without any form of version control is at a very high risk of data loss or file being corrupted or someone messed up with something and then you're not able to actually recover the previous state of the data. So let's now look at some of the benefits of using a version control system. The number one benefit that I would like to talk about is that you will have a complete long-term change history for every file. So for each file that you have in your project, you are going to have the change log from the very day that the file was created until the day that maybe the file was edited or the file got deleted. You're going to be able to see all the changes that were made and then be able to see who made such changes. The number two benefit is that version control facilitates collaborations between developers. In modern development, you can see that people are able to easily collaborate together. Means I'm here in Malaysia and then you are in US. All we need to do is to share a repository and then we both have access to this repository. I can work on the code and then you can work on the code. At the end of the day, we merge this code together. And then if there's anything that you have done that is not in line with what you are doing, it can be discarded. So version control tends to largely facilitate collaborations between developers. So team members can work concurrently on the same project using branching and merging feature of the version control system. And then the last one that I want to talk about is the ability to trace all changes that has been made to the project. So it is very important that we have some form of version control when we are working on any project that is important. And there are very many kinds of version control tools out there, but we are going to stick with Git because this is what most developers are actually using and currently the most popular version control tool out there. And GitHub is also the most popular hosting platform for version control.